Night Terrors by Matt McBride. My night terrors have returned. I used to suffer badly from them, jerking from deep sleep into imagined wakefulness, unable to move, as if a great weight was pressing my body into my bed. And now it's happening again. I feel alert, and can see and hear clearly, but I can't move, or speak, or even blink. I know from bitter experience that I won't be able to wake myself up. I can only wait until it ends. I'm staring at a night sky, through the bare branches of a tree. The heavens are miraculously clear, and my eyesight is never so acute in my waking hours. I can make out a million individual stars, and I can see the subtle redness of Mars pulsing softly. A streak of bright silvery light crosses my vision. I recognize it as a shooting star, and try to follow its travel, but my eyes won't turn, and I feel a sense of disappointment, as it passes out of my line of sight.
He's arrested. Shall we shock him again?
No. We've lost him. We might as well pack the gear away.
I hear the crunching of feet in dead leaves all around me. The closing of metal lids, and the sharp snap of spring-loaded catches, followed by subdued grunts of effort. Muffled footsteps stamp into the distance, leaving me in silence, and I detect the faint crackle of dry grass springing back into place. I'm totally absorbed, as I gaze into the depths of space, at nebulas and solar systems that should only be visible through a telescope. I wonder why I've never before looked so closely at the cosmos, and realized how beautiful it is. A cloud drifts past, slightly lighter than the darkness behind it, and it appears grainy, as if I can distinguish each separate droplet of moisture that makes up its swirling mistiness. A scratching noise in the tree above me catches my attention, and my eyes slowly refocus on a squirrel, clinging to the underside of a thick branch. It stays stock still, but I can see the quick movements of its tiny black eyes, and the minute expansion of its body, as it breathes. I've never experienced a night terror as vivid as this. It is almost enjoyable, in its detail and strangeness. I wonder how my imagination could produce such startlingly clear sounds and images. Then I hear footsteps approaching, and my squirrel vanishes. Something lands on the ground nearby with a heavy thud. At the edge of my vision, a light flashes on, and a beam plays around, dazzling me as it crosses my eyes.
We'll have to get him out of this blood before we bag him.
Okay. Help me move him under this tree, where it's dry.
I detect a flurry of activity around me, and get brief blurred impressions of gloved hands and boots, before I focus on a different vista. The bare tree has been replaced with a large conifer. A brilliant crescent moon is shining through the thick foliage, giving the needles the merest hint of greenness, and highlighting dazzling lines of snow on the thicker branches.
Roll him on his side and spread the bag out behind him.
My view rotates, and I'm surprised to see my Kawasaki, lying on its side next to a large tree. I can read the number plate clearly in the moonlight. The ground is covered with a light dusting of snow, except for a track of darker gouged earth, leading up to the tree. As I contemplate why this should figure in my night terror, I'm distracted by a loud noise, as if my left ear is pressed close to the ground. It sounds like plastic sheeting being unrolled. The rustle of plastic amplified through the earth.
Are you ready?
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
The scene changes again, and the night sky comes into view once more between the trees. This time my attention is drawn to blinking red and green strobe lights. As an airliner passes high above me, I can hear the faint roar of its jet engines, even though it is a mere speck in the sky. I watch the pale streaks of its condensation trail dissipate against the backdrop of the Milky Way.
What have you put on the accident report?
Severe trauma to femoral artery. unable to maintain blood pressure.
Agreed. Put it in the bag with him.
Then I hear the sound of a zip, and my world turns black. I hear muttered expletives, and sounds of movement, but have no other sensations. I begin to feel the familiar fear of my past night terrors and try and force myself back to consciousness, desperate now to escape this nightmare. I imagine myself writhing in torment, in my sweat-soaked sheets. I know when I eventually wake, I'll be shattered, and feel like death for the rest of the day. I promise myself I'll make an appointment with my doctor to ask for help. I never want to go through this again.
Why do you think he went off the road?
He must have hit a patch of ice.
The voices, which were deafening, now seem to be ebbing away.
We'll get him in the wagon, then I'll call the fire service to come and hose down the mess.
Sounds recede like the fade out of a long-playing record, and I strain to hear the words before they disappear completely.
You better give the morgue a call and let them know we're on our way.
Footnote. Scientists have observed that the human brain, like many other body parts, does not stop working immediately after the heart stops beating, and may still function for up to 5 minutes afterwards.